Close your eyes. Let the weight of the day begin to fall away from you. Whatever happened today, the conversations, the tasks, the things left undone, let them rest now. They do not need you anymore tonight. The Stoics understood something that most people spend their entire lives ignoring, that each day is complete in itself. Marcus Aurelius, the emperor of Rome, wrote in his private journal words that were never meant for anyone else's eyes. When you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to think, to enjoy, to love. And if the morning is a privilege, then the evening is its reward. You have made it through another day. That alone is enough. Feel your body against the surface beneath you. Notice the places where you hold tension, your jaw, your shoulders, the space behind your eyes. You do not need to force them to relax. Simply notice them. Awareness itself is release. The philosopher Seneca once said that we suffer more in imagination than in reality. And right now, in this moment, there is nothing to suffer. There is only breath. There is only stillness. There is only you, here, at the end of a day that asked everything of you. We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Let your breathing slow, not by force, by permission. Give your body permission to stop performing. You have done enough. Think of the ancient Stoics for a moment. These were not cold, unfeeling men. They were warriors, senators, slaves, and emperors who understood that peace is not the absence of difficulty. It is the presence of perspective. Epictetus was born a slave. He was beaten, his leg was broken, and yet he became one of the most influential philosophers in history. He taught his students a principle so simple it can change your life if you let it. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Tonight, you react to nothing. Tonight, you simply are. There is a practice the Stoics called the dichotomy of control. It is, perhaps, the most liberating idea ever conceived by the human mind. It goes like this. Some things are within your power. Some things are not. Your peace depends entirely on knowing the difference. You cannot control what others think of you. You cannot control the weather, the economy, the past, or the passage of time. You cannot make someone love you, respect you, or understand you. Make the best use of what is in your power, and take the rest as it happens. But here is what you can control. Your thoughts, right now. Your breath, right now. The choice to let go, right now. And that is enough. That has always been enough. Think about what kept you awake in the past. The worries, the replaying of conversations, the anxiety about tomorrow. How much of that was within your control? How much of it actually came to pass the way you feared? Marcus Aurelius ruled the most powerful empire in the history of the world, and even he could not control. He faced everything. He faced plagues, wars, betrayals by people he trusted. And every night, he returned to his journal and wrote the same kind of words, reminders to himself that the only empire worth ruling is the one within. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. So tonight, let the things you cannot control drift away like clouds passing over a dark sky. They were never yours to carry. Your only task now is to breathe, to rest, to be still. Feel the quiet around you. Even if there are sounds, the hum of a fan, distant traffic, the settling of a house, let them become part of the stillness. The Stoics did not seek silence. They found peace within noise. Seneca lived in one of the loudest cities in the ancient world. Rome was chaos, merchants shouting, carts rattling over stone, soldiers marching. And yet Seneca wrote that a wise person can find tranquility anywhere, because tranquility is not a place. It is a state of mind. True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future. You are in that state now. Let it deepen. One of the most powerful teachings of Stoicism is also one of the most difficult to accept. Nothing lasts. This is not meant to sadden you. It is meant to free you. Marcus Aurelius would often meditate on impermanence, not to make himself miserable, but to make himself present. He wrote about how the emperors before him were now dust, how the people who mourned them were also dust, how even the memory of their mourning had faded. Think of the life you have lived until now as over and done. Now see what's left and live it well. This was not despair. This was clarity. When you understand that everything passes, you stop clinging. And when you stop clinging, you start living. The worry that sits in your chest right now, it will pass. The problem that feels unsolvable, it will change shape. The season of life you are in, it will turn. Nothing in nature stays the same. Rivers carve new paths. Mountains erode. Stars burn out and new ones are born from their remains. You are part of this same nature. You are not separate from it. Seneca wrote letters to his friend Lucilius, some of the most beautiful letters ever written. In one of them, he said something that strikes at the heart of why we struggle to sleep. Begin at once to live, and count each separate day as a separate life. Each day is a separate life. And this life, today's life, is ending peacefully. You are laying it to rest. Tomorrow will be a new birth, a fresh beginning. But that is not your concern right now. Right now, the only thing that exists is this breath, this darkness, this rest. Let your thoughts become lighter. If a thought comes, do not fight it. Simply watch it, the way you would watch a leaf floating down a stream. It arrives, it passes, and the stream continues. The Stoics called this apatheia, not apathy as we understand it today, but freedom from being controlled by your emotions. Not the absence of feeling, but the mastery of it. You feel, and you let it move through you. You think, and you let the thought complete itself and dissolve. Marcus Aurelius spoke of an inner citadel, a fortress within your mind that no one can breach unless you open the gates. No matter what storms rage outside, there is a place within you that remains untouched. It is the place where your values live, where your reason lives, where the truest version of you resides. Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul. You are retreating there now. With every breath, you move deeper into that inner fortress. The noise of the world grows distant. The opinions of others lose their weight. The fears that seemed so large in daylight shrink to nothing in this quiet space. This is your citadel. It has always been here. You simply forgot to visit. Epictetus taught that no one can hurt you without your consent. This sounds impossible until you understand what he meant. He did not mean that pain does not exist. He meant that suffering, the story you build around the pain, is optional. No person is free who is not master of himself. Someone may say something cruel. That is their action. You're suffering over it. That is your choice. And tonight, you choose peace. You choose to set down every grievance, every grudge, every unfinished argument. Not because they do not matter, but because you matter more than your attachment to them. Feel the stillness of your inner citadel. There is no judgment here. There is no failure here. There is only awareness. Clear, calm, unshakable awareness. The Stoics believed that this awareness is connected to something larger than ourselves. They called it the Logos, the rational order of the universe. You are not a stranger in this world. You are of its design. The universe is change. Our life is what our thoughts make it. And right now, your thoughts are making a life of peace, of rest, of deep, restorative quiet. The Stoics did not pray for easy lives. They prepared for difficult ones. This may seem strange in a meditation meant for sleep, but understanding this principle is one of the deepest sources of calm there is. Because when you stop fearing difficulty, you stop being anxious about the future. And when you stop being anxious about the future, you can finally rest in the present. A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials. Seneca compared the human spirit to a gem. Without pressure, without friction, it remains dull and unformed. Every challenge you have faced, every failure, every heartbreak, every moment when you thought you could not continue, was the polishing. You are still here. That is proof of your strength. Marcus Aurelius wrote his meditations during one of the most difficult periods of his reign. He was camped on the frozen banks of the Danube, fighting a war he did not want, surrounded by death and disease. And yet his words are not filled with bitterness. They are filled with a quiet, steady resolve. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Whatever obstacle you face tomorrow, it is not blocking your path. It is your path. But tomorrow is tomorrow. Tonight, you have no obstacles. Tonight, the only path is the one that leads deeper into rest. Let your body soften. Let your mind grow quiet. Every muscle that has carried you through the day can now release its burden. Think of all the difficult things you have survived. You once thought they would destroy you. They did not. And the things you worry about now, they will not destroy you either. Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body. You are stronger than you know. And strong people rest. Strong people allow themselves to be held by the night. Strong people close their eyes and trust that the morning will come. Before the Stoics, the Greek philosopher Heraclitus said that everything flows. Nothing remains the same. The Stoics took this idea and turned it into a daily practice. Negative visualization. This is not pessimism. It is the opposite. By imagining the loss of what you have, you learn to appreciate what is here now. Think of something simple that you experience today. A meal, a conversation, the feeling of water on your hands, the sound of someone's voice. Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. Now consider, there will come a day when you experience each of these things for the last time. Not to frighten you, but to wake you up to how extraordinary the ordinary truly is. The emperor who ruled the known world wrote to himself, "Do not act as if you have 10,000 years to live. While you have life, while it is in your power, be good, be present, be grateful." Seneca lost everything more than once. He was exiled to Corsica for 8 years. He was stripped of his wealth, his status, his freedom. And when he returned to Rome, he wrote that the experience had taught him the most valuable lesson of his life. It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a great deal of it. You are not wasting this moment. You are here, fully present, giving your body and mind the rest they deserve. That is an act of gratitude in itself. With each breath, silently acknowledge one thing you are grateful for. It does not need to be grand. The warmth of your blanket, the safety of this room. The fact that you are alive, breathing, and aware. Gratitude is not a feeling the Stoics waited for. It was a discipline they practiced, and like any discipline, it becomes easier with time. Eventually, it becomes your default way of seeing the world. He is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has. Let that gratitude settle into your bones as you drift deeper into rest. The Stoics organized their philosophy around 3 disciplines. The first, the discipline of desire, is perhaps the most relevant to the restless mind. Most of our suffering comes from wanting things to be different than they are. We want the past to have gone differently. We want the future to guarantee our safety. We want people to behave the way we think they should. Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. But the Stoics taught that desire itself is not the problem. The problem is misplaced desire. Wanting things that are not up to you. You can desire to be virtuous. You can desire to be present. You can desire to respond to life with wisdom and courage. These are within your control, and so they are worthy desires. But desiring that others approve of you, that the world bends to your plans, that nothing bad ever happens, these desires are the source of every sleepless night you have ever had. Marcus Aurelius wrote to himself again and again. Accept the things to which fate binds you. Love the people with whom fate brings you together. Do both with all your heart. Acceptance is not resignation. It is the recognition that reality is the only place where life actually happens. And right now, reality is quiet. Reality is dark. Reality is your body at rest. Let your desires for tomorrow quiet themselves. They will still be there in the morning. But right now, the only thing worth wanting is this peace. The Stoics thought about death every day. This was not morbid, it was the key to living fully. Memento mori. Remember that you will die, not as a threat, but as a compass. When you remember that your time is limited, you stop wasting it on things that do not matter. Let us prepare our minds as if we'd come to the very end of life. Seneca urged his friends to live each day as if it could be their last, not recklessly, but with intention, to say the things that matter, to do the work that matters, to love without holding back, and at the end of each day, to review it honestly. Did I act with virtue? Did I waste my time on anger or pettiness? Did I contribute something of value? If the answer is yes, even partially, then you can rest without regret. And if the answer is no, then tomorrow is an opportunity The Stoics did not believe in perfection. They believed in progress. Marcus Aurelius lost many people he loved. His children, his teachers, his closest advisors. And yet, his writings are not filled with despair. They are filled with a profound acceptance of the natural order. Loss is nothing else but change. And change is nature's delight. Loss is change. Change is nature. And you are part of nature. So let this day change into night. Let wakefulness change into sleep. Let the thoughts that no longer serve you change into silence. You are not losing anything by falling asleep. You are gaining restoration. You are gaining the strength to meet whatever tomorrow brings, with clarity and calm. It is not death that a man should fear, but he should fear never beginning to live. You have begun to live. You are living now, in this breath. Let that be enough. The Stoics had a practice they performed every evening. Seneca described it in detail. Before sleep, he would review his entire day, not with judgment, but with curiosity. He would ask himself 3 questions. What did I do well today? Where did I fall short? What can I do better tomorrow? I examine my entire day and go back over what I've done and said, hiding nothing from myself, passing nothing by. This was not self-criticism. This was self-awareness. The Stoics did not beat themselves up for their mistakes. They studied them the way a scientist studies data, with detachment, with interest, with a desire to improve. If you wish, you can do this now. Gently, without judgment. Review your day. What did you do well? Perhaps you showed patience when you wanted to react. Perhaps you worked hard on something important. Perhaps you simply showed up when it would have been easier to hide. Acknowledge that. You do not give yourself enough credit. Where did you fall short? Perhaps you spoke harshly. Perhaps you avoided something you knew you should face. Perhaps you spent time on things that did not align with your values. Notice that without punishing yourself, you are human. The goal is not to be perfect, it is to be aware. How long are you going to wait before you demand the best for yourself? And what will you do differently tomorrow? You do not need to answer now. Simply plant the question, like a seed. Let your subconscious work on it while you sleep. Seneca said that after this review, his sleep was always deeper, because he had made peace with the day. He had processed it, learned from it, and released it. The day was complete. Your day is complete. The Stoics believed in a rational, ordered universe. They called this ordering principle the logos, the reason that runs through all things. You are not an accident. Your existence is not random. Whether you understand the reasons or not, you are part of something vast and interconnected. The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. Every atom in your body was forged in the heart of a star. The iron in your blood, the calcium in your bones, the oxygen in your lungs, all of it came from the death and rebirth of ancient suns. The Stoics did not know this science, but they felt the truth of it. They understood that human beings are not separate from nature. They are nature becoming aware of itself. Marcus Aurelius would often look up at the stars and remind himself of his place in the grand scheme. Not to feel small, but to feel connected. to feel held by something larger than his worries. Dwell on the beauty of life. Watch the stars and see yourself running with them. You are running with the stars right now. The same forces that move galaxies are moving through you. Your heartbeat is a rhythm in the music of the cosmos. Let that thought expand within you. You are not alone in this darkness. You are surrounded by an entire universe that has conspired across billions of years to produce this exact moment. You, here, breathing, resting. There is nothing you need to do. There is nothing you need to figure out. The Logos does not require your effort tonight. It only requires your surrender. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. And your thoughts, right now, are becoming quieter, softer, deeper. Like the ocean settling after a storm. In a world that never stops moving, stillness is an act of rebellion. The ancient world was not so different from ours. Rome was a city of ambition, noise, and constant distraction. People chased wealth, status, and pleasure with the same desperation we see today. And yet, in the middle of that chaos, a small group of thinkers chose a different path. They chose to sit with themselves, to examine their thoughts, to find peace not by escaping the world, but by understanding their place within it. The greatest wealth is a poverty of desires. You are continuing their tradition right now, by choosing rest over restlessness, by choosing presence over distraction, by choosing to be here, in this moment, rather than racing ahead to tomorrow. Stillness is not emptiness. It is fullness. It is the moment when the noise clears and you can finally hear what matters. What matters is not your productivity. What matters is not your bank account, or your follower count, or your title. What matters is this. Are you at peace with yourself? Can you sit in silence and not be afraid of what you find? The mind that is anxious about future events is miserable. The Stoics could, and so can you. You are sitting in that silence now, and what you find is not something to fear. What you find is a mind that has carried you through another day, a heart that has kept beating without being asked, a body that has served you faithfully, even when you did not thank it. Thank it now, silently, in whatever way feels natural. Let the stillness deepen. You do not need to maintain it. It maintains itself. Like gravity, like the turning of the earth, stillness is always here. You simply had to stop long enough to notice. You have journeyed through the wisdom of the ancients tonight, through the words of Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, 3 minds separated by centuries but united by a single truth. That truth is this: you already have everything you need. Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking. Not more money, not more time, not more approval. Everything you need for a good life, virtue, reason, presence, gratitude, is already within you. And everything you need for a good night's sleep is already here. A body ready to rest, a mind willing to let go, a heart that has made peace with the day. As you drift toward sleep, carry with you the knowledge that you are part of an unbroken chain of human beings who have looked up at the same stars, felt the same uncertainties, and found the same courage. The Stoics are with you, not as ghosts, but as guides. Their words have survived 2,000 years because they speak to something permanent in the human spirit. The desire to live well, to face difficulty with grace, and to find peace in a world that offers none for free. Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. Your breathing is slow now. Your body is heavy. Your mind is quiet. Let the darkness welcome you. It is not something to fear. It is where rest lives. It is where tomorrow is being prepared for you. You have done well today. You have done enough. Sleep now. Let the words dissolve. Let the thoughts thin and scatter like mist. There is nothing left to hold. You are safe. You are at peace. You are home. Sleep.